Another great result of the weekend, Liam. Liverpool v. Fuck you, man. Hello there, and welcome to the BSR Sports Podcast. From the fans, for the fans. Liam Murphy's getting on my fans. Today, link in bio, by the way. Go and look at the link. Today we're going to be covering football preview / review. Interesting week this weekend, and not a good result tonight, was it, boys?
Oh, I can't wait for this.
Gash,
Celtic.
What's your thoughts, Kieran?
About the night's game? Do you want me to start with? Alright,
We'll talk about the game first. We'll get it over and done with, and then we'll get on to our game. A wee bit of positivity.
Take it away, Kieran. I mean, it was Celtic's chance to kick on the night and come off the back of a good performance at the weekend. Everybody thought, right, we might have finally turned a corner, but it's just the same old story this season. We're just inconsistent. It's just, we look clueless out there. The team doesn't know what the fuck we're playing when we're out on the pitch. Lennon has lost the dressing room, and I'm saying that as a fact. He should not be in that job any longer. I mean, fair enough, if it was a 2-1 defeat or something, I mean, it's still unacceptable at all, but to go out and lose 4-1, it's just completely gutless. Honestly, you can't defend him any longer. I've been in the mindset that, he's not doing great, but who do we bring in? I'm well past that point now. Honestly, I don't even get
anybody and everybody
at this point. Honestly, surely anybody that comes in can do a better job than what's happening out there in that park. Cal McGregor's out there saying we're completely disjointed. Everybody's trying to score. Nobody's come back to defend. You've got that. That's coming to your.
Seen that in the after-match interview there.
Aye, they've not got a fucking clue what they're doing out there in the park. It's just putting it supposedly meant to be the best team and hoping for a result, because they don't have a style of play whatsoever. And to be at this stage of the season and not be completely sure who your best starting lineup is.
Aye.
Just unacceptable. We're miles off it, and we need a fucking miracle.
It's the same problems every week, isn't it? It's Shane Duffy mucking up. He just I rated him coming in. I think we all rated him coming in. Shane Duffy, Celtic man, he's a brick at the back. Premier League experience, perfect. He just doesn't look fit at all. He's flying into things he doesn't need to. He's flying into things he doesn't need to fly into. The first goal, I was arguing with my dad, but I felt he could have blocked it, but he just threw himself to the ground and thought he could block it somehow. No, second goal, sorry, not the first goal. Second goal. First goal for a corner yet again. How many times is that going to happen for you? And then Scott Brown slowing things down. How long does it take for Lennon to realise that? He had the chance at half time to bring him off, speed things up a bit, and he didn't do it till the 60th, 70th minute. And when you seen Griffiths coming on, what did we see when Griffiths came on? See Edward, it disgusted me. See his work ethic tonight, it absolutely disgusted me. In a European competition, in a season as vital as this for Celtic, see to begin out into a park and putting in that amount of work, that is absolutely horrific. I would be fining a player if I seen him playing with that amount of energy. The third goal was it happened because Edward didn't want to go for the ball. Ball get played into him. He just stood flat-footed, and then they broke and scored. So Griffiths and Rogic were only maybe lacks out. Frimpong was a wee bit good, but there's no standouts tonight. It's very worrying times.
It's just the same old story it's week in, week out, honestly. We take so long to actually get into the game. Then when we finally do, it's too late. 2-0 down the night. It's not even it's not a full strength team. That's something that you need to remember. They came out here with 7 first team players missing for the squad. You're indefensible. Honestly. I don't know what has happened to Celtic over the past 6 months or whatever, but to go into the summer and keep all your best players. When everybody was worried about losing Edward, that Edward has been a man down this season when he's been playing. He started alright at the very, very beginning against Hamilton, but since then he's not kicked on at all.
Hamilton.
Hamilton, exactly.
Hamilton have been beat losing 5 to St Johnstone, do you know what I mean?
But even he's just not kicked on at all. He's been a man down. He's been a passenger. That's what he's been in games. He's not offered anything to that team. Griffiths came on, offered a wee bit of a spark, but at the same time we can't be relying on Griffiths to come on and save us for that tonight. Nothing can save us for that tonight. Not one player was coming on to turn that game around, and it was clear to see for ages. Like, you knew that for early on that game was not going to be won by Celtic. We had a brief, maybe 5-10 minute period where we thought we might claw our way back into it, but
that was all down to Griffiths. But I felt Griffiths did come on. He did. He was the only player in the park with energy. But one man can't change a full game, and
it's the
Griffiths
fact as well. He can come on and try and change the game all he wants, but if the man's not able to fucking start week in, week out, what can you do? Because if you've got somebody that's got that much an impact on the squad and they're not fit enough to start, then it's fucking pointless.
Aye. Paddy, what's your thoughts?
I think we're a shadow of the team we were last season. I think it's just all like what's going on behind the scenes. I think obviously Lennon's lost the dressing room. I think you're right, Kieran. I think there's players that don't want to play for us. They don't care. Like Shane Duffy didn't look like he cared. Edward just strolling about. Like, this is his chance playing in Europe. He's got good coverage. You're thinking a lot of people will be watching this if he wants his big move. And he looks just like a complete opposite player from last season. There's just too many players, I think, and they're just strolling it, and they don't look like they care in the club's biggest season. It's not good to see. And
just before I forget as well, it's just, sorry to interrupt you, Paddy, it's just the thought.
That's all right.
A lot of talk's been made recently about fans not being in the stadium, and I completely understand that. I feel like I do believe that has had a big impact on Celtic this season. I feel like fans, especially in European games, I think it could have been a different game tonight if we had fans there driving the team on that. But you can't use that excuse. They're not going to be back anytime soon. They've had time to get used to it, and they better get fucking used to it, because there's not going to be fans for a long time up here. Maybe not even until the very end of the season, if that. And it's not even as if every team has to experience it. We're no any different. So we're having to put up with it, and we're just, it's shambolic, because I feel like the whole understanding, especially on the new boys that have came in this season, maybe with the exception of Shane Duffy, that this is the biggest season in Celtic's history, for not in history, but for a long time, and we're just pissing it away. And I don't know if that's down to the fact that if the fans were there, they'd maybe get a better grip of what it means. But you can only put up so many fucking banners and that in the stadium, and like, it's just lost on the players. I think they don't get it.
No, it's the goals. It's the goals that we lose. They're so sloppy. The defending looks horrible, and big changes have got to happen. I don't know what we're going to do. Shane Duffy, I'd send him back to Brighton. See that? Was it the third goal? And he just get beat 1-on-1? That was terrible.
It's the fact that he never even cost the goal earlier on, but instead of gone to his man, he was backing away, and then end up in a corner. But with him, I'm surprised he never gave away a penalty or something, man. Like, if you're diving in further into the box, you get your tackle in on the edge of the box. You don't wait until they're right in the 6-yard box. Oh.
So, obviously, he's disappointed with tonight's result, but domestically, Paddy, you said the vital game was at the weekend against Aberdeen. Positives, a lot of positives to take from that game. Defensively, much better. It has all been undone tonight. It's disappointing, but we have seen an informed Roderick, we have seen an informed Griffiths, and domestically, it could be a turnaround. What do you think?
I think in the league it's good. Like 3 points here, that was brilliant. Players like Blacks.
It was a Scottish Cup game.
Draw, what am I? Scottish Cup, they win. What am I talking about? Scottish Cup, they
win. He played Aberdeen the week before. I'm
getting confused.
Don't get hopes
so the 2-0, it looks good. I think that's good. We could go for that quadruple treble, but you're thinking it's against Aberdeen. Fair enough, we can win against these teams, but even in Europe, there's fans that don't care about Europe this season. But then when you see Rangers playing well in Europe, they look great in Europe, despite their. In fact, still a good result tonight.
Aye.
We want to be like that as well, but I think domestically, as I say, it's all right. As we've got the better of these teams in the league and that, but big changes have got to happen, and I think it's time for Lennon to go.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
So what would your suggestion be if Lennon was to go? Would you say he should walk away, or you think he'll get sacked?
I think he'll get sacked, possibly. I think he will get sacked. I just don't know who'd come in.
I don't know. I mean, I think it would need to be getting sacked. But I seen something on Twitter that put it perfectly. A real Celtic man would walk away at this point because he realises he's doing more damage than good in the biggest season in the past 20 years.
Can't go on for too long.
You can't. We're running out of time. You've only got a certain window in which things can get turned around. The more we wait about, it's going to be too late. So,
who do you think you should bring in?
See, that's the problem. I said that on the last podcast as well, but I mean, we were talking
He's not go and check it out.
Mm-hmm. But we were talking about the fact that if he was to go, who comes in? But with that performance tonight, it's just you're just so blindsided. Like you don't even care. You just want him because he's doing more harm than good to the team, and you can sit and say, "Aye, we don't know who we're going to get in," but surely we've got to get somebody that can change that team a bit because they're not playing.
It's a good set of players, and you're thinking, like, you don't think it's their fault. You think maybe it is the manager's fault. So you're thinking anyone could come in, but I really don't know what's happening. Even like Liam said, like possibly Eddie Howe, I'd take him. But it's that big a season, you can't just gamble, you know what I mean?
Aye, Lennon's tactics have gone. He's lost, as you said, Kieran, you touched on earlier, he's lost to changing them. When you've got players not putting in a season like this, players not putting in 100%, you know, it's going to take a fucking... Personally, I think it's going to take, sorry Paddy, I think it's going to take a fucking miracle for him to get anyone there. That's the form he was in last season. Last season, I think we all thought this is the Lennon we wanted. This is the Lennon we've seen defeating Barcelona, defeating Ajax. But
you see him just sitting there, sitting back in his chair, and you'd expect him to be screaming at the players. You'd expect Scott Brown, Callum McGregor, all these big players. You'd expect that, but they don't even seem to have any urgency to win games.
See, with a man like John Kennedy as well. How many times did he play with Celtic? How the fuck
he was injury prone throughout his whole career.
How can you have him as an assistant manager in your most vital season?
He's a defensive coach as well. Meant to be a defensive coach, and you see the goals we're conceding.
How do you have John Kennedy, who's he's played a handful of games for Celtic, and the Celtic defence are reliant on him to learn from an injury-prone Celtic player who's had many games.
The guy's career was ended by injury. He's been at Celtic ever since. But I mean, I don't think you can pin the blame on that. Like, it's just, and I think it just comes into individual performances. Like, I'm not buying the whole. I was on board with Beaton being good covering that for centre back, but even he got away with it at the weekend because at the weekend he had a couple of slack moments. He genuinely did. I think it went largely unnoticed, but he could have cost us goals if, like, I don't know, man. In the night it was shown again, it was just so lackadaisical at the back. There's just no urgency in the team.
I never looked up to it.
No desire to play for him. Play for the back.
They were meant to be the two games. The Sparta Prague, obviously, we get the point away to Lille, but Sparta Prague home and away, you're thinking 3 points for each of them, and that puts us right in the mix.
Lille obviously won 3-0 away to AC Milan tonight. It's an unbelievable result for them. So I think you're out of Europe now.
I went and said it in the press conference.
What did they say?
He just said, well, what was it? He said Europe's done now, so we just need to focus on the league. And the cup's coming up.
Done now.
He needs to focus on keeping his job.
Right, we'll leave the rant for now because I think Liam's getting a bit sick of it. I'm sorry for your loss tonight, boys. And hopefully things do get better for the sake of Scottish football and the coefficient, obviously. Obviously not for Rangers fans. I think they're all enjoying this tonight. They're rubbing it in, even though they did have a game against Benfica tonight. What was your thoughts on that game? That was... poorly from me, I tweeted in the 70th minute saying Gerrard, he's just done work wonders with Rangers. He's got every single player on a set task. And see between Gerrard and Lennon, you can see what they've both done. It's night and day. And do you know what I didn't pick up on? was speaking to somebody the other week, I can't remember who it was. They reckon Gerrards picked up on the way Brendan Rodgers works because he's worked under him and he's seen how successful it's been in Scotland. Look at the way Brendan Rodgers worked with Celtic and look at the way Gerrard works with Rangers right now. Look how well it worked. Even though he's not got a plan B, and it showed tonight. See, when he did go 3-1 up, tactically he wasn't strong enough to hold on to that. Should have had the ball in the corner, but Kent was going at players instead. Fair enough, you maybe want to finish your game off, but I feel Helander fucked that up for Rangers tonight. Balogun, we've seen in the last couple of weeks. What do you say? Obviously, being neutral about it. What do you think about that Balogun? He looks a solid defender, doesn't he?
He played. Sorry, Kieran. I was just saying he seemed to play well when he played against us, Balogun. He looks a good talent going into the future for Rangers.
But bringing Helander in, he's a solid defender, yeah, we all know that. He's got no pace about him, and he get caught out.
It was a week in jail, man, honestly.
Even watching that as a neutral, I was like, oh my god, imagine she just the way he get drifted by for the last goal as well. The man just get right by him. It went and slotted that away, and you were like, here we go again, man. And I was quite annoyed with Gerrard that he didn't change up tactically, and I've seen quite a few Rangers fans were quite annoyed with him as well. But overall, it's a really good result for Rangers, I think. See if you're going into that game.
I was just about to say the exact same point. Rangers fans going into that game with a bit of honour for a point away from home to Benfica. But I suppose it is just it's the same sort of result as us away to Lille last week. Aye. It's just sort of disheartening if you've got a 2-0, but a 2-goal lead, you then just throw it away, and especially for them to lose it in the 90th minute. I mean, it's a bit gut-wrenching. Aye, bit gut-wrenching, but as I said before it, you'd have took the point. So
as much as I was just going to say, as much as I don't like Rangers, like I don't mind seeing them do well in Europe because it's good for the coefficient. Because you're seeing like more Scottish teams can get in the Champions League, and we won't need to play as much of these qualifiers and that. But Rangers, they seem a great team in Europe.
Aye. So, aye, it was a strong performance from the night. I felt just they were dominant. I felt they were dominant against a very, very strong Benfica side. Even though Benfica haven't been the best run of form, they get beat 3-0 at the weekend against Boa Vista. Do you remember Boa Vista, who you played against in the UEFA Cup final run? You'll know them. Boa Vista, they're a strong team. They did get beat 3-0, but obviously
Boa Vista bottom of that league and they bet them.
Are they bottom?
I'm sure they are, I'm sure somebody said that to me.
But we know, obviously, Benfica were getting into the game low in confidence. Rangers had previously conquered Portugal, beaten Braga, beaten Porto. They were getting into the game high flying, and I think it showed. Even though they did lose a goal straight away, it was a horror on goal, wasn't it, from Goldson?
Both of the own goals in the game were shocking, man. I would argue Benfica's was worse, man.
That was worse. By the way.
No.
I think Rangers fans will be more disappointed because Otamendi gets sent off for Benfica. So they're playing against 10 men and they're up 3-1 and they've came away with a draw there.
Aye. I think the experience showed at the end. You've got the likes of Vertonghen, you've got the likes of Severovic up front who did come off, but you had the new boy that came on, and he came on up front, full of energy, full of pace, one ball through, boom, last minute equaliser. So as you said, Kieran, gut-wrenching. It's not good to see as a football fan. It's the worst time possible when you're holding on and you can't hold on. But overall, Rangers are sitting 7 points out of a possible 9. Starting the group, I think you would easily be taking that, even though they have got the easier of the group of both of you. Benfica are a very tough side. So things are looking positive for Rangers. I think, as we said last week, consistency is key. Could this be a defining moment with confidence? Even though Celtic did get beat tonight, Rangers lost a 2-goal lead, which they shouldn't have blown. Could this be a defining moment with confidence? A lot of Rangers fans turning on Gerrard tonight with talks about his tactics, his tactical awareness, not being able to change up after he went 3-1 up. It's not the first time we've seen it happen. So, aye, positive stuff for Rangers, not so for Celtic. Liam, we'll be getting the words out of you soon. What was your thoughts? We'll start off with Liverpool v Atlanta the other night. Cruise to victory against a very, very strong Atlanta team. Unbelievable performance.
Absolutely scintillating from Liverpool. They played absolutely out of this world. I mean, the whole front three, but the main headlines will go to Jota, obviously, for the hat-trick. I mean, when we first bought him, like, I always think, if Klopp wants him, I want him, because Klopp is fantastic man manager, and he's a fantastic coach, obviously. But when we bought Jota for 40 million, you thought it might have been a bit of a risk. But right now, I mean, he's looking like some player. And he's looking the team for like a few games, and he looks like he's already going to take Firmino's spot in the squad. I mean, he's so clinical, and to have 3 clinical forwards in the team now is just going to make Liverpool a different beast.
I feel sorry for Firmino, right? Because he's getting turned on a lot because of Jota's form. I think Liverpool fans have realised how poor Firmino's been in recent seasons. You need to remember how much Firmino has saved Liverpool, e.g. Club World Cup, e.g. Europa League, e.g. Champions League. Do you know what I mean? So you can't go and disrespect a striker who's given you so much over the years. And to do that, I feel it is a lack of respect and a lack of knowledge about football. Jota has come in and he's been firing all cylinders. He's given Liverpool exactly what they needed. It's remarkable what he's done coming from Wolves. How much was it? 35 million? Was it 35 million?
It was 40 million, but Kieran broke the other way, so it pretty much made it like 25 million.
Aye, so that's 25 million. Kieran Auld. So I don't think he's been that good a signing for Wolves. So they've kind of got a deal out of that. But for that price in nowadays market, for the return they've got straight away, it's remarkable. Atlanta, what did we say in the Champions League predictions? Go and check that out as well. We've done Champions League predictions for the group stage. What did we say? Well, what did I say anyway? Atlanta, we've seen them recent seasons. Superb performances against big teams. But no, I don't think anybody expected that result, did they?
Atalanta weren't exactly poor against Liverpool. It's just for the first time in a while, Liverpool took their chances, and this is what happens when Liverpool take their chances. They will annihilate you. That is the best example of Liverpool at their best on Tuesday night. I mean, if you give Liverpool even just the pinch of a chance and they take it, they will punish you in an instant. And it happened on 5 occasions in midweek. I mean, the players like, obviously like Jota, but other players as well. Like Curtis Jones, he was absolutely superb at the.
Yeah, we'll go on to the youngsters in a wee bit. But what I was going to speak about was the directness. Salah and Mane, it's constant, and teams just don't seem to be able to handle it. Down the wings, cutting inside, playing it through, cutting inside, playing it through, down the wings, direct, playing it in. It's the same game plan Klopp's got every game, but see, because Salah, the likes of Mane, you've got Trent who can play the balls down and over. You see the direct over ball, and then you've got likes of Robertson, Henderson who can control the midfield. I think Henderson's highly underrated. See, when it all clicks and it all works, Liverpool they're a force to be reckoned with. They're next level, and that's why they were champions of Europe. Salah and Mane, see, when they're on form, they're two possibly the best wingers in the world at the moment. It's remarkable some of the things they can come up with. The confidence is flowing at them right now, and to have Van Dijk missing, who is the rock at the back, I really didn't expect that at all.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, Liverpool's front three is always going to be firing. I mean, I don't want to keep repeating myself here, but Jota is just some player, and Firmino will have competition. I think that's why Jota was brought in, to give the likes of Mane, Salah, and Firmino competition, because he can play all across the front three.
Yeah,
I'm one of Firmino's biggest fans. I mean, he doesn't contribute enough goal scoring wise, but what he does on and off on the pitch mainly, when he distributes the ball out wide, or if he starts to play. He's a fantastic tempo setter, if you know what I mean. It's just the way I feel like he's been disrespected just because he's not getting the goals or assists that are asked of him. He still puts a lot of effort in every single game, and no one can deny that. But you think maybe we do need another goal-scoring threat up front. Defence as well. I mean, Joe Gomez recently, I feel like he's been stepping up recently without Van Dijk. And
I don't feel
some Gomez, yeah.
I know it's going to sound controversial, but I've never rated Joe Gomez. We've seen it in that game. Atlanta came into the game after Liverpool sat back. Liverpool went, I think, 4-0 up. Was it 4-0 they went up? And Alisson had a couple of very good saves to make. And then obviously, but I think quite a few of the chances were down to Gomez's slackness. He was beaten quite a few times. Remember Zapata came on? Zapata did cause Liverpool quite a few problems. He was bullying Joe Gomez and he was faster than him quite a few times. Obviously keeping a clean sheet, it does show that Gomez did have a good performance, but I think Liverpool do need to sign another centre-back if they want to challenge with the best that there is. I don't think Gomez is world class, and he is good, he's fast. Defensively, I don't think he's tight enough, and he gives players too much time. Saying that, they went 4-0 up. Couple of chances happened. That's always going to happen in a game. Maybe he just stepped back a bit, but I feel we're seeing it too much with Gomez stepping off players, and he has been getting punished this season. We've seen it against the likes of Aston Villa. We've seen it last season against Man City. He could just get made to look stupid. But they went up the other end and scored. I think was it Salah scored the fifth?
Salah scored the third goal from the counter-attack. Jota scored the fifth when he rounded the goalkeeper. Jota
scored the fifth. So it's positive. It really is positive for Liverpool with the likes of Van Dijk missing. One thing I was wanting to point out was the use of youngsters Klopp is deciding to use. Very, very similar to the Dortmund style of play he had put in place, and you can see them starting to come through. Reece Williams, Nico Williams, Curtis Jones. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of been forced into this situation, really. I mean, with the injuries that we've got to Van Dijk and the Matip's legs are made of glass sometimes.
Aye.
The likes of Reece Williams and Nat Phillips, if you saw against West Ham, they're not the backs in the world, but because they're still up and coming, and they put in dominating displays, both of them. I mean, when Reece Williams played against Atalanta, I said Gomez was superb, but I'd argue Reece Williams was the better of the two centre-backs.
Yeah.
And it's the same with Nat Phillips as well. Nat Phillips, I mean, I don't know if it's the occasion for Nat Phillips because it's his first league start, because usually you do see that a lot with players. If like they're getting their debut in a big game like that, they'd be thinking maybe, not thinking, but obviously they want to put in the best performance they can. But that is a dominating display from Nat Phillips as well. It does instill confidence in the Liverpool team as well, that they can have these players come in. Likes of Curtis Jones, I've always said, he's a fantastic centre midfielder, and he's going to be big in the future because the way he distributes the ball, the way he tracks back as well, he's not afraid of a tackle either.
His style of play is terrific. We've
absolutely.
Seen it again. See that goal against Everton.
Don't get me started, mate. He's a fantastic footballer.
As soon as he scored that, and the confidence he had to do it in a derby, and was it his debut that he done it on?
Mm-hmm.
It was his second game, or was it his debut? It was one of the two. And the way that he just curled the ball into did you see it, boys? His goal. Mm-hmm. It was 30 yards. Top right corner.
I remember it.
You don't see that at teams like Celtic. You don't see that at teams like Rangers because players haven't got that confidence drilled into them from a young age. And see to come into a Premier League team in a Merseyside derby, being Liverpoolian, and to score a goal like that, you know the player is a level above everybody else. You know he's going to be a vital part of the squad, and it's remarkable the impact he's had coming in. Klopp's trusted him. Klopp's brought him in. Klopp's got him part of the squad now. And he's starting to trust more and more youth players, which I'm very impressed with because it's starting to pay off now. We've seen it. Curtis Jones did get an assist the other night. And by the end of the game, he had 3 or 4 youngsters on, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Curtis Jones, because of recent injuries, he's probably moved up to like fourth choice midfielder now. I can go on all day about Curtis Jones because I really do love him as a footballer. And it's surprising with Klopp. I mean, obviously he's always going to give youth a chance, but usually Klopp will go with the experienced heads. Like, he might be old, but he may still go with the likes of James Milner, Gini Wijnaldum, for example. Gini Wijnaldum usually starts, but usually with youngsters, their chances were far and few between. And if you're getting a chance under Jurgen Klopp, you're clearly a fantastic player and you deserve that chance.
Yeah. Moving on from Liverpool, we obviously, who was it? Was it you, Liam, that chose your game of the week to be Man United v Arsenal?
Yeah, I did, unfortunately. That was...
Ollie's definitely not at the wheel. Seems the wheel's falling off.
That's the problem. I mean, I mentioned it myself. I mean, Man United, they could have a good amount of results and they can look like one of the best teams in Europe. That's all. But I always feel like they're never playing for their manager. I always feel like they're always playing for themselves. I feel like Ollie's literally hanging by a thread, and every time he is hanging by a thread, they'll pull off that amazing result, such as the Leipzig or PSG result. But if the wheels are falling off, they'll have the result like they did against Arsenal or against Istanbul or against Spurs, where they lost 6-1. Did you see the defensive display against Istanbul as well? With the whole defensive line was just pushed up and not even...
The shape was all over the place. But
it was just... Even Rio Ferdinand was literally screaming at half time. Oh my goodness. Just the way the ball came out for a corner and you're expecting to. So I play centre back, right? I play centre back semi-pro, right? And the way we work it out is this is a coach from Hamilton that teaches us. You want a man marking the attacker on the halfway line and you want somebody covering them. That's the least you should have.
Normally a quick guy, isn't it? So you'd normally have maybe a fullback or a winger who's not going to defend for a corner.
Yep. So you want a man on the player and you want that. To have nobody on the halfway line, to have everybody pushed up, and I don't know what was in Matic's mind, whether he was told to do that, but for Demba Ba to be free on the halfway line, this isn't even nursery school football. You're taught that from a young... Like, it's not even you're taught that, you just know. Like...
Yeah, it's instinctive.
Why would... The game's 0-0. You're not going for a... Fair enough, right? The only time I've ever seen that is if they're pushing for a last-minute equaliser or a last-minute goal. You need a goal. What gets into players' minds to not look behind them, to just do that? It's mind-blowing. And then for that goal to happen, and then the next goal to happen, did you see the next goal? If the first goal wasn't bad, everybody get pushed over to the one side, and there's Visca's left with all the time in the world just to smash it in.
This stems from a lack of leadership in the Man United defence. Harry Maguire is the captain of that squad. He should be telling either Luke Shaw, Wan-Bissaka, or even the other centre-back, I couldn't remember who it was on the night. They should be telling them, you stay back, Twanzebe. Harry Maguire as the captain should be leading that back line. He's always going to be up for the corner, so he's wanting to say to maybe another midfielder or the fullbacks, stay back. We need to defend as well as attack. The best form of attack is the best defence. The best form of defence is attack. These are the basics. I learned these when I was in primary school, and yet professional footballers on massive wages can't even learn to do the simple stuff. I'm going on a rant here. I'm a Liverpool fan. I'm going on a rant about Man United's defence. But it's just professional defenders can't seem to just work out the basics, and it really annoys me.
Another great result of the weekend, Liverpool v West Ham. What was your thoughts on that? Jota obviously being the difference.
It was a good enough performance. It wasn't anything magnificent from Liverpool. I mean, we didn't play that great football, and to be perfectly honest, the 2-1 probably was the correct result. It could have swung either way because Liverpool were open on occasions defensively, but it wasn't clear-cut opportunities and anything. Liverpool didn't really look like they needed a spark off the bench, and that's what Jota brought. But not just Jota as well, Shaqiri as well. I mean, that pass, it was a literal defence splitter to make Jota's goal. And it offers Liverpool a whole new dimension off the bench to have the likes of Shaqiri and Jota in the team now, like we've mentioned before with Jota, but with other players as well, like Shaqiri and maybe Minamino and the youngsters as well. It just offers a lot more. I mean, Liverpool on the day were, like I said, not the best, But a win's a win. That's all that matters for Liverpool at the moment going into the week.
Jota does look vital because he has got that extra bit of energy he can bring on. He can make a change, a difference. Shaqiri seems to, as we spoke about last week, Shaqiri seems to have made a difference. He's made up with Klopp. He's in Klopp's favour now. Whether Shaqiri will play this season, it depends on the performances of others, I think, because I would say he's second or third nature to Klopp's plans. But him and Jota have been linked up superbly. And did you see Shaqiri's goal? Not goal, assist. The cut pass through to Jota, that was remarkable. He had 3 players in the line and he managed to split it through them, and Jota came in and he split it through them, and it just left Jota with an easy finish. And it was old Shaqiri, the one that was. He knows how to cut defences open, and it's very good to see. But whether he's going to be a player for Liverpool, I don't really think he's going to have that much of an impact. Don't think Klopp rates him too highly. So, yeah, really good result. Boys, have you got your games of the week for this weekend?
Absolutely, mate.
So, Paddy, we'll start with you. Who's your game of the week?
I've gone for Borussia Dortmund versus Bayern Munich, the Klassiker, it's called. So, I think Dortmund are in second and Bayern Munich in first. So, first v second, both seem to be flying right now, both flying in Europe and the league. You saw Haaland broke the record, didn't he? 14 goals in the least amount of games in Europe. Bayern absolutely flying as well. Lewandowski looks good. So it's sort of Lewandowski-Haaland battle.
Sané looks very good as well. He's been a terrific signing for him this season.
You've got Sancho for Dortmund as well. So I think that will be a really good game. As I say, they're both doing good. And I think in the last meeting, Bayern won 3-2, and it's like the German Super Cup final.
Super Cup. So what's your prediction?
I think Bayern will edge it, possibly. I think maybe, as I see edge it, but I think they'll win 2-0. Bayern Munich. Mm-hmm. They look strong, and I even said I think they're going to win the Champions League, and I think they're going to win the league as well. So 2-0 Bayern for me.
They'll be getting the quadruple if Celtic don't.
Exactly, aye.
So, what stadium is that at again?
That's in Dortmund. So at the
Signal Iduna Park,
Signal Iduna, exactly.
That'll be a terrific game. Dortmund v Bayern is always the Klassiker is always top notch. You're never going to get a 0-0 in that game. Mm-hmm. It's always action packed. Usually,
I think they've got some fans as well. As Germany allowing fans in, so
they're on and off for the fans. It's whether they have get the fans back in. I think because France were the same; they've been on and off for the fans. So it would be good if the fans back in for that game.
You know what the Dortmund fans are like, the big yellow walls. So they could be a big help to Dortmund. The very few of them that are
the socially distanced yellow wall. Talking about fans, Ross County this weekend will be hosting. They're in Tier 1 up in the Highlands. The Highlands has been voted a tier 1, so Ross County have been allowed to bring in 300 fans for their game. That'll be
Livingston, I think.
That'll be when you see this tonight on Friday night against Livingston. The Highland League has also been allowed to have an array of fans in as well. They're allowed fans in, so very positive news. Obviously, they are in Tier 1, so I think Glasgow we're a long way off. I think we're going into lockdown soon, so not the greatest at all. Kieran, what's your game of the weekend and why?
I've actually went for Lyon and St Etienne on Sunday. I mean, I feel like it's a fixture that doesn't really get too much coverage a lot of the time, but I mean, they usually make for pretty good affairs. I mean, in the past few years, it's sort of leaned more in Lyon's favour. And I mean, if you look back at the game for March earlier this year, Moussa Dembele grabbing the double. But I mean, this year
you'll know him too well, won't you?
Could have been using him tonight, man. Could have been using him. But I mean, he's been warming the bench a bit this season for Lyon. He's been getting used as an impact player. So you just wonder if he'll be the one to come on and make the impact if the game's crying out for
Dembele's not been the great stuff on. I don't think he scored yet this season, and Leon fans are really hoping for him. Toko Akambi has been the one that's been in form recently. Mm-hmm. He's been scoring the goals. Depay's been helping him out, but I think Toko Akambi's got 6 goals in his last 3 games, so that could make a very interesting affair. Leon were just playing Lille, who you played at the weekend. One each finished in a draw, so it will make for an interesting affair. I don't think St Etienne are the best run of form right now.
Yeah,
they're not looking at the team they have been in recent years. So, and on that behalf, what's your score going to be? What's your prediction?
I'm going to just go for a 2-1 to Leon. I think. I feel like neither team's had a brilliant start to the season, but I mean, I feel like I just feel they'll edge it, because if St Etienne have come into this game in a poor run of form, so I feel like Leon will just get it.
It's a massive rivalry, and I think it's highly underrated in Europe. It's one of Europe's biggest rivalries when it comes to it. You've got the pyro choreography. People, it's high, as you said, it's not covered enough as it should be. Personally, that's what I feel. So hopefully that could be something we will cover with BSR Sports soon. Maybe one of us can go to the game and we can see what the atmosphere really is like in person. William, what's your game of the weekend?
Do you even need to ask me, mate? It's the biggest game of the weekend, Manchester City versus Liverpool.
Oh, here we go, man. So, why should we look forward to that game? Tell us all about it.
These games in the modern Premier League era are always going to decide the title race. And maybe not in the way it goes, but who maybe will be seen as the favourite. Last year, when Liverpool went to... Obviously, when Man City came to Anfield last season, and Liverpool turned them over 3-1. It was a big turning point in the season, because Liverpool then opened up a big gap and they went on an amazing run. And it'll be something similar this season as well. Liverpool need, in my opinion, obviously they need to win this game. You'd say maybe take a draw, but Liverpool need to win this game, because it'll be a massive, massive statement for Liverpool if they were to win this game. Obviously, they already have put a statement out there by saying they were the league champions last season, but to win this game away to the Etihad, to get it out of the way as well, if we were to win it, it would be a massive, massive boost for the whole squad. The likes of, we have our injury problems, obviously, with Van Dijk and Matip and Thiago, for example. I'm pretty sure Thiago is not going to be involved in this game.
They'll be massive misses. Obviously, you've got Adriano, who puts a bit of confidence in with Alisson, but Van Dijk and Matip's not really first team, but Van Dijk and Thiago, it's literally your core of the team has been taken out. I wouldn't be surprised if it's another dismantling, the same as last season. Just with the way things are going, Man City haven't been the best run of form, but we know Man City turn up against the best teams. It's just the way they always have done it. They always will do it. Liverpool don't seem to have done the best at the Etihad in recent years. So what's your take on it?
Klopp's always put up surprises for Liverpool. I mean, he could start for example, when we started what was it the weekend, Nat Phillips, and he put in an absolute monster of a display. Liverpool do exactly the same against all these big clubs. I think last season, I know it can be seen as an excuse, but when we got battered by Man City last season at the Etihad, it was a dead game, because it was the game after we just won the league, and I know
Andrew Robertson was still half cut.
Most of the players were half cut, don't get me wrong. But I don't want to use that as an excuse, but it was a dead game. And this game will mean a lot to Liverpool. And although, like you said with Matip, I feel like Matip will be crucial to this game, because although the youngsters have been fantastic, you need the experienced heads in this game. This is Liverpool's biggest game of the season so far, and they need their most experienced players on the pitch. Thiago obviously will be a big miss, but he's had a few injury problems. He has had his injury problem after the tackle from Richarlison, and he had COVID as well. It's not been the best of starts for him, but he's not much you can do about it. It's not down to his lack of general fitness. It's just pretty much his luck. And
what's your prediction then?
Well, my heart and my head say two different things, but if I was to go with my head, I probably would say a 1-1 draw.
Yeah.
It will be a tactical battle between Klopp and Guardiola.
Very good. So, being a Partick Thistle fan, we'll not talk about the fact that we get beat 1-0 against Cove Rangers at the weekend. 94th minute winner we lost against Cove Rangers at the weekend, so I wasn't very happy about that. So this weekend, League One as well. Well, I don't think we all know because nobody cares about League One, but I think we've all, Scottish football fans will know, League One it's between Falkirk and Thistle with the funding in place for the two biggest teams. We probably should be around the Championship, Premiership because of the stature of both clubs. So this weekend's going to be a massive game. Partick Thistle have got Falkirk at Firhill. Sadly, I will not be covering that. I will actually be over in Raith Rovers, Stocks Park, so I'm going to miss that game. I don't know. I'm feeling this could be the game Michael either gets sacked or the season changes, because in every game we've seen him play, when he's played wingers in the second half, that's when we've won the game. When he's not played wingers, that's when we've lost the game. Last weekend, we got beat partially because we didn't have any subs. We'll not get into that. We had 5 sub options, right? 5 substitutions. Cove made all 5. We never made one substitution all game. No, never played with wingers. And we had League One player of the season, Blair McNally, sitting on the bench the whole game. Joe Cardle, you all know Joe Cardle. He's came on and scored 2 against Queen's Park. Never played all game. McCall's choices have been honking. So this is a massive, massive game for him at the weekend. If we get beat against Falkirk, McCall needs to go. So we're in a similar position to you as with Lennon. Similar reasons. We need to win the league this season. You need to win the league this season. On that behalf, I don't like to say it, but we're going to get beat 2-1. I feel we're going to get beat 2-1 off Falkirk. Falkirk are high flying right now. They're giving me a lot of confidence, and we've got none. I feel McCall doesn't like to listen to Andy, so I feel he's going to go with no wingers again. If he does go with wingers, I know we've got Brian Graham, for instance, we've got Cardle, we've got Lyons. I know we can win the game. Conor Murray's on fire. He's firing all cylinders. So, yeah, I'm going to go with 2-1 for that. So, that's all for us today. Thank you very much, boys, for joining us. Thank you, Liam. Thank you, Kieran. Thank you, Paddy. If you've not already, please subscribe. Go down, like, comment. Let us know what you think about if Neil Lennons should go. Comment down below. Please share. Let's help build BSR Sports as a unit, and we can all do this together. Until then, thank you very much, and it's a goodbye from me.
Bless.
Pleasure. Yeah.